Okay, so that was good. Anybody, any other questions about how the course runs? Right. The first set of lectures are, I mean, admittedly, they are relatively easy. It's the once we get into, first of all, the alphabet soup, and I put that in the syllabus. Sort of watch the alphabet soup, especially in for the innate immunity section. There's lots and lots of proteins with initials. There's a few that I focus on. You know, the interferon. Obviously, I want you to know the mechanism of interferon, of ApoBec. That one's an important one. The few that I mentioned in lecture, focus on those, and then the general principle of what the innate immune system recognizing a foreign molecule, and what makes a molecule a foreign molecule, in the sense that, I mean, they're all the molecules in a virus came from the cell, so they're not like aliens from outer space molecules. So how does a cell recognize it's a foreign molecule? So things like if there's DNA in the cytoplasm, that's like a big alarm, right? And then the double-stranded RNA bit, it's really just a matter of degree, right? Because we now know there's plenty of double-stranded RNA in the cytoplasm, because that's what all those microRNAs, right? But, when initially interferon was discovered, it's like, oh, double-stranded RNA, because there's no such thing as double-stranded RNA. Oh, except, okay, there's tRNAs, but okay, tRNAs are tRNAs. And there's ribosomal RNA, but okay, that's it. Except for ribosomal RNA and tRNA, there's no double-stranded RNA in the cell, right? Because they're single-stranded, they function as double-stranded. But now, of course, we know about microRNAs, so there's tons of little sections of double-stranded RNA in the cell. So that it's not exactly, viral double-stranded RNA, it's just longer. There are longer pieces of double-stranded RNA compared to those regulation by microRNAs. So presumably that's how it knows. But so that the general principles, right? And then a few of the names of the proteins, like ApoBec, like if I say what a PAMP is, what is now? Now I forget what that stands for, but that's all right. You'll look it up and you'll know what it is. it's a PAMP. Molecular pattern, something molecular pattern. A foreign molecular pattern. Yes?
No, sorry, we're just trying to figure out what PAM stands for.
What?
No, we were just trying to figure out what PAM stands for.
Oh, what PAM stands for. Something molecular pattern. Pathogen associated, thank you very much. See, pathogen associated molecular pattern. That's what I said, it's a foreign molecular pattern. So those sorts of abbreviations. But the names of there's a lot of names of proteins. Now, immunology is in the back. And the reason I put immunology in the front is a couple things. Of the front of the course, meaning, is because, first of all, the way viruses are is because they've evolved to our immune system. And so that you can't think about viruses without thinking about what their main selective pressure is. And that's their primary selective pressure, is the immune system. And then the other thing is, you don't have any other immunology in this university, right? We don't really, you do a little immunology in micro. You get some in micro, but you get it in a very bacteria-centric way. And which is appropriate because it's a bacteria course, right? But I don't want to save that to the end, because immunology is so important in terms of how we function. I mean, how we evolved. Without our immune system, we just, there's so many pathogens we have to deal with every single day that you don't even realize, because we have such this terrific immune system. So I wanted to kind of elevate that to the front of the course, so you're thinking about that. So that's what you'll be thinking about for Unit 2, that immunology. And there's plenty of resources. I always felt this way with immunology, that immunology was one of those things that it's hard to understand any of it until you know all of it. And so it's hard to get started, because there's lots of references to other things that you don't know what they do. So you might want to stick it through, go through, and then you might want to go through it a second time or whatever, read the book first, and then, just be patient. If it doesn't seem to make sense, it might make more sense the second time through.
So the timeline of the course, are we doing like a unit a week? Is that what you have?
Yeah, so let's take a look. Let's see, Blackboard, let's bring up the, the syllabus and expectations. So here's the course calendar. So you've got about 2 weeks so your next paper. Now, it's possible I might stick another assignment. Some of the assignments are like this one, right, there was an extra question for the grad students. This one's the same for everybody. That may be that I stick I'm not done sticking assignments in necessarily because I had time to think about it. This one is 2 levels. This, or I might put another one here. I don't know. I might put another one in. And then this one I haven't even, actually, this has changed, this paper, because I decided I didn't like that paper. I started reading it and thinking it was good, and now I'm onto a flu paper. So I'm actually going to change that paper. But no, you're not going to get to it for a while, so it didn't bother you what to change. So this is going to change. So, here's, roughly I tried to make the due dates around the discussion groups. If you want to meet more often, if you want to meet, for those of you who are on here, you want to meet a different day, right? You want to get a couple people together, right? Those of you, I don't know. We're trying to use technology here. We're trying to use it. But if you wanted, like, a different time was better, if you want to get a few people together, we can do this. And like the thing, because it's an online course, it's not that every single communication between us must be public. That's not the point. But it's only fair. If we're sitting and we're talking about stuff and there's a group of us, why not record it? Because we can. And then it's available to everybody. Because sometimes in-person communication just goes better than discussion. You have to type everything out. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, this is my first online bio course. How many hours per week should you spend?
Oh, it shouldn't be any different than a regular course.
Just ballpark.
Well, a regular course, you figure for each, it's a 3-credit course. So 1 hour, 3 hours in class. For every hour in class, you're expected to spend about 3 hours out. So 9 times, so 12 hours a week. That should be, I would think that would be plenty. Yeah. The watching of it depends on how you need to break it up. Is everyone doing okay with watching these videos? You can find uninterrupted, in a sense, it might be a challenge, especially if you have kids running around in the house or something, sometimes to find uninterrupted time in the house or in your dorm where you can really sit and focus, because the onus is on you to find that, rather than saying, come to class and I'm going to set up the class situation where we're not going to be interrupted. A DL course has both good things and bad things, and that you can do it whenever it's good for you, but you have to find that quiet time to sit and listen. But of course, you'd have to do that to study anyway. So, and they get longer. I remember when I was first setting this up, they go, none of your videos should be longer than 10 minutes. Yeah, come on. maybe for some other kind of class, but otherwise we'd have a gazillion 10-minute videos. So, some of the videos, of course, are 25, 30 minutes. So you're going to have to, you may or may not want to watch them all in one shot. But the fact that you can go back and listen again, and I think that is pretty helpful. I'm using more videos now, even in Bio 11. I'm using recording some bits so students can, so I don't have to lecture amino acids. They could just watch the amino acid thing, and then we'll talk about polypeptides. But the whole basic stuff, we're just going to do. I'm doing more of that as well. And then students can always go back to it. I'm crazy for technology. What can I say? I'm just crazy for it. Alrighty. Anything else? All right, 2 weeks from now? All right. So 2 weeks from now, that's 14 days from now, yes. So that's when the next one is due, right? That's 14 and 21, yes, 7 and 14 is 21, is that right? No, the only point of the quizzes is just, and the reason I emailed some of you was I just, it allows me to know, keep on track. It prevents students from saying, I'm going to start with Unit 5. Like, because you really need to go through it's my opinion, you need to go through in order. Yeah, okay, you might learn differently, but, in order to sort of, and it was recommended to me when I was setting this up, that it forces students to progress at a right pace, and you're not going to try to start the assignment. You can't, because you can't see the assignment until you get 100% on the quiz. Now, on the immunology quiz, I'm going to, for the Unit 2 quiz, there are a couple of, put these things in order where it's like, I don't, two things are pretty close in time. So it's sort of splitting hairs, saying this thing comes before that thing. So it's going to it probably will take you a few tries to get through. But you can, write down, take notes, because it tells you what you did wrong, right? It tells you, so you can go back and fix it. So, but the point is then you do it, because I don't want to frustrate you, but at the same time, I want to make sure, that you sort of have some basics down before you start the assignment. Because otherwise some students will say, I'm not going to be bothered with that quiz. I'm going to go ahead and start the assignment. And then they don't really have the basic understanding to do it. So that's the goal for the quizzes. So I was just, as I'm going through, because I can see who's done everything, and the quizzes don't count for any points of any kind. They just don't count. But so it's just to sort of keep you on track. None of them are more than 10 questions. But it's that you have to get 100% in order to continue. So I think there's only one or two people left that didn't have 100% on quiz number 1. Maybe just one person. Because you can always come back to it later. Like, oh, okay, all right, I've got to go now. I'm going to come back. I'm going to work on it. But no, I think you were one. You haven't even done it. Had you done it yet? No, you've done it now. No, you haven't. You were the one. You haven't done it. What are you waiting for? You have the assignment due tomorrow, Mr. Pavia. It's due tomorrow. And so I think I had it set up for midnight. It's tomorrow at midnight is, I think, the deadline. And that's, because I have a college student daughter, and so that seems to be the way she works. And it doesn't really matter to me. It's not, so it can be anything. But, and pretty much along with the way I work, those of you who have had me for Bio 11, not all of you had, certainly. But if it's late, I'm probably just going to dock late. It's like, don't not turn it in. If for some reason you can't finish it, or you're having trouble, just turn it in late, and then I guess I'll dock points or whatever, depending on what the issue is. But, due dates are there for a reason, to keep you on track, to keep you from sort of backing yourself up. You need to keep moving to get through the course. We actually, the first time I did this, just because it's a complicated story, but so I had to do it in the summer. And so I was under the impression that I had to stick, actually I shouldn't say I was told I had to stick within the framework of a summer schedule. So we did it in 5 weeks, which was like way too fast. And now I've been told since then that I can make it whatever length of time I want to. Because that was one of the problems, is this is too much material for 5 weeks. It's just too much. So if I do it in the summer again, if I have to go back to doing it in the summer, I'm just going to make it an 8-week course, just because I can. It's online, and you can do it whenever. But it's like, because you need more time. You can't. It doesn't make any sense to do this over a 5-week period. But we were just trying to figure all this out. Okay, are we done? All right, thanks for coming. I think this worked, right? I think this worked out all right. Okay. And so, like I said, so we'll meet again in 2 weeks. Of course, I'm available. Any other questions you have, happy to answer them, either in discussion board, or if you want it, like there's 3 or 4 of you together, we can usually find this room or another room and do it and set up.
I have that available.
Oh, absolutely, you have other times. So, okay. Oh, my goodness. All right. Oh, holy cow. All right, so your Monday morning, I have lab. Monday afternoon. Oh, this is not a pen. See Dr. St.Angelo. Tell me your name again. I'm sorry. Michelle. Okay.
There's like 3 Michelle's at the wall. She's out here.